Hello everyone. Welcome to the weekly dev stream. Hope everyone's doing well. Where's this hole coming from? Oof. Okay. Did some rearranging in this room, so my green screen is kind of hard to put up. It's like lurching over me right now. That's okay. I'm gonna be all right. Thanks for joining. Looks like we've got a decent turnout today. I'm seeing at least 8 viewers, so I think folks are excited to see the new boss that we have been working on. Thomas has been tirelessly working on getting this new boss into the game. Very excited to show it off today. It looms much like our new boss. Yeah, exactly. Our goal is to we're going to do some testing today. It's in a pretty good place, so we'll do some testing. Thomas pushed some changes recently that I didn't get a chance to test, so we're going to test this out on stream, but should be pretty good. Our goal is to get this boss ready for PAX West in a couple weeks here. So very excited to finally have another boss in the game. I mean, there was a long time where we didn't have any bosses in the game. We finally got Goliath in, and then there was a very long time where Goliath was the only boss. So now having some options, really excited for how this boss came out. The fight is a little more intense than Goliath. I think folks will enjoy what we've come up with here, so excited to show them off. Yeah, and we're still a little behind on announcing the Designer Challenge winner. We'll be doing that real soon for, I think it was the July Designer Challenge. So we'll be announcing that soon. I'm hoping tomorrow. Probably won't do one for August just because we've been getting ready for PAX and all that. So, but yeah, exciting stuff. And we've got some other stuff in the works too that we'll be showcasing pretty soon. So without further ado, I think what we'll do today, do some testing on the boss. We'll show him off, talk about him, talk about some features. By the way, he doesn't have a name yet. We're still kind of workshopping the name on him. But we'll show him off. If you have any feedback, let us know, especially on names. If you have a cool name for him, let us know. But yeah, we'll show him off, and then we'll jump over and see if there are any new dungeons to play. And then if we have time, maybe we'll make a dungeon with the new boss. Could be fun. So that's kind of the plan. Let's go ahead and reveal the new boss here. So I was hoping to like make a dungeon with him and like show that off, but that's okay. We'll hop in kind of blind here and show him off. Fair warning, you're gonna want a lot of room for this new boss. You'll see why when we get into it. Give the player a sword. I'm not going to give the player the bow because the new boss is immune to the bow. No, we haven't showed off the other new enemy yet. I'm thinking that one should be ready by next week, I would imagine. Give ourselves lots of hearts here. So first I'm going to show them off, and then we'll jump into some testing. Throwing out estimates like they're hotcakes. I think with how far along the other enemy is next week, we could probably show it off. All right. The new boss is a triangle block. Thanks for joining the stream. Just kidding. All right. Bad joke. All right, here is our new boss. He's a big guy. We're throwing around the name Skull right now. SKUHL. You will notice he's got a big sword. So we'll test him out and we'll show off kind of how the different phases work. But essentially, he starts out with just claws. And he's invincible. You can't hurt him, but you can hurt the arms. And once you destroy both arms, his head collapses down, you can damage it, he moves into the next phase. In the next phase, he has a sword in his hand that he can throw at you. And he can slash at you. You have to destroy the hands again. You move on to phase 3 where he has 2 swords. So his reach is even greater. And he also teleports around, so you can't really hide from him. He can teleport around and find you, and when he teleports to you, he does a big slash attack. So tried to do some more interesting things mechanically with this boss. The linking, kind of similar to Goliath, you can link during different things like his phase transitions and when he attacks and whatnot, so we'll do similar. And yes, the hands are immune to arrows, and that was intentional because we feel like Goliath is very easy to defeat with arrows. We wanted a boss that you couldn't cheese from a distance, so the arms are immune to arrows. Arrows go through him. So you got to get up close and personal with this one. All right. Let's check him out. Oh, and he will have his own boss theme. Benny is still working on it, so it's not in the game yet. But he will have his own boss theme. And we're going to have a new boss theme for Goliath. So both of those will be coming soon. On guard, indeed. All right, let's show him off. Let me grab my controller. So just like Goliath, he will start off, you'll just see this skull on the floor. So to trigger him, you got to get close to him. He's got a nice little intro animation there. Moves his jaw around. His eyes follow you. He does some slash attacks. So phase 1's a little easier. He doesn't teleport as much, and he doesn't have weapons, so his reach isn't as far. But you might think, oh, I could just stand behind him and just slash at him. If you ever get behind him, he teleports. So if I try to go up here, he's going to teleport and do a big slash. We really wanted this fight to have scripted attacks so that the player can like react to the attacks that the boss does. So he kind of does a wind up for all of his attacks. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the swords. Because he will also do the sword throw, and you could kind of anticipate it and get out of the way in time to dodge it. So yeah, if you get too far away, he's going to teleport to you. What if you get behind when he is already at the top? What do you mean? Yeah, he'll, like if you go all the way up here, he'll teleport all the way up there. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of out of reach now, but if you want to get him back, you just got to get out of here. He's going to teleport back at you. Cares not for your material. So yeah, you can damage the arms. And that's a new thing that Thomas just added, this shake to the arms. Looks really nice. The impact feels a little more substantial. So the idea is kind of you want to land like a couple attacks. Oh yeah, and that explosion's really nice. That was just added too. So we destroyed an arm. We're still playing around with the HP of like the arms and the phase transitions. So now he just has the one arm. And it's kind of supposed to be like land a couple of hits, right? And then get out of the way. And yes, bombs do hurt him. So that's a good way to land some damage. So then the head comes down. This is where you're supposed to hack away. I'm going to wait because I want to show you how this works. So I didn't do enough damage to the head to transition into the next phase. You have to do, I think right now it's set to like 10 HP damage. So he respawns with his normal arms. He retains that damage though. So now I got to destroy the arms again to get him into the next phase. So now I can finish slashing at him. And now he's in his next phase. So now he's got the sword. And the sword obviously gives him much further reach. And he's got a throw attack now. I'm going to get him up here a little more. So you'll see when he's going to throw, when he's going to slash, he leans a little bit. So you'll see a lean before he slashes. When he's going to throw, he will not lean. He'll just reach back. So you could kind of anticipate he's about to throw. I'm going to move out of the way because that'll come and hit me. And then he can also teleport. He'll do a slash. You got to move out of the way. So really wanted a boss fight that's a little more engaging rather than, you know, Goliath, which is kind of a big punching bag. You know, he's a good first boss. I think one thing we're going to be working on pretty soon is kind of like enhancing the shield so it works a little better. Because right now it's kind of tough to block some things. Okay, so now we're going to wail away on him. And again, the linking system, just like with the last boss, you can link from him. So on these phase changes, if you don't want the player to be able to come up and just wail away on him, you could have, like, when he gets to the next phase, spawn in a bunch of enemies, and then that way you've got a threat to deal with. You can't really land too many attacks on him. You know, you could have spikes pop up, you know, whatever you want to do with the linking system. And then, yeah, you can kind of, you know, customize your boss battles. So here he's going to throw, because he didn't lean. He's got the double slash. And then I've done some testing in multiplayer, but it's difficult with, you know, testing by myself. So we do definitely want to get some multiplayer testing in at some point here. But yeah, he'll always teleport. Doing a slash, so I know I can stand here and be okay. Get a couple more hits in. That's a throw. I want to get out of the way. And yeah, sound effects too, obviously, we still need to add. So if I defeat him... Got a little explosion there too. So, again, it's not final yet. We're still working on getting some sound effects in. Obviously, like when the skull thuds down, there's going to be sound effects. The explosion needs a sound effects. Yeah, he can throw with both. So the other thing, his arms obviously and his sword seem pretty strong, right? So you would kind of expect that they would break things. So I'm pretty sure this was implemented. You should be able to break destructible objects. Only breaks some things. Okay. Oh, interesting. It's not breaking the blocks. Okay. What things does it break right now? Probably like, yeah, the small stuff. Okay. Maybe crates. Not blocks or tables. Okay. Some skulls. Let's see how that works. Yeah, they don't right now, but they will be able to. Nice. Okay. Arms in motion, knockback bombs. Ooh, I like that. The claws don't break blocks, but the swords can. Yeah, that feels right to me. I like that. Let's see if we can get him, lead him down here a little. There we go, and then we'll go here. You should teleport right here. So yeah, you could kind of manipulate to get him to go where you want, which I think is going to result in some really interesting boss battles, where maybe you need him to trigger a switch or something, or, you know, you could like give the player no way to damage him and you gotta like bait him around to like unlock a sword, something like that. Like you could do some really cool stuff. Or maybe you don't have a weapon at all and there's like a, you know, a spawner with bombs and you gotta like lure him over to that. Some cool stuff. I think there's a lot of potential. And this is a little chaotic, but same with Goliath. You can do up to 3 of them. So if you want some crazy chaos, you got it. The eyes follow the player that is most likely to cause them to teleport. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool. Yeah, we need to do some multiplayer testing. Maybe at the meeting tomorrow. If we have time. Ow. Didn't quite get enough damage on that one. Stop it! I need to damage this one! But yeah, really excited with how this has come out. Love the animation and the artwork that Matt did. And all of the like swiping animations and the leaning and the cloak waving. You know, Thomas did all those animations in Unity and they came out really good. The eyes moving, the skull, the mouth moving, all that. So really excited to show this off at PAX. Yeah, room design. Room design is going to be huge, because especially like if you have him in a smaller room, way more difficult. You have less space to kind of maneuver around him. And yeah, I think we're going to see some really cool designs come from this one. Yeah, any sort of obstacle causes him to be way harder. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's fun. And we're still kind of adjusting like the HP it takes to defeat his arms and all that. So we're trying to kind of find that sweet spot with the difficulty for him. So, hey, Sanjay, thanks for swinging by. Hypothetical question, probably later down the road or not at all. This is tricky, but what about an idea to have multiple trigger link ports to the boss to make them do a specific action or do something? Yeah, we've talked about that, and that's come up before with enemies in particular, like letting people change what they do. I think where we are, at least right now, we want some sense of familiarity. You know, there's so much you can do with the linking system and with the game that we want there to be an expectation when you play a dungeon of how an enemy is going to function. Now, what happens when you defeat that enemy, or like the other things you do around it, I think make for some really fun situations. But we want like player familiarity when it comes to enemy behaviors and that kind of thing. That could change in the future. You know, maybe we want to add some more depth to that. But I think that's kind of where we're at right now on the enemies and their behaviors. Could give you a nice bear hug to have to break out of. Yeah. Flinging sword could knock you around. Yeah, that would be a cool idea for a future boss, I think. I think we're pretty well set on the behaviors with what we have this one doing. But I like that idea of like one that grabs you. For boss fights, I like that idea of being able to trigger a certain attack. Could really make a design. Yeah, that's true. That could be cool. Could definitely work for bosses. I think he can trigger switches. Let's see if that's in there yet. Oh, he can't? Okay, never mind. Well, he will. Yeah, I think we want him to. Because, you know, if he can damage stuff, then that means he can interact with stuff. So we should be able to trigger switches, I think. Yeah. I haven't really tested how razors interact with him. Kind of curious. Oh, they do damage the arms. That's interesting. They do a lot of damage. Wow, they like instant triggered the next phase. Okay, razors are the ultimate cheat code for defeating this boss. You know what it is? It's because they're not bouncing off of him, so they're going through him and just like hitting him a million times at once. Yeah, maybe razors just don't damage him. Maybe those can go under him. Yeah, there's still a lot of little interactions like this that we're trying to figure out. Yeah, lantern could be something. If you bomb the head, how many hits to the next transition? So he takes right now, and we're still playing with the numbers, but I think it's 10 hits to trigger him, and bombs do 2 damage, so it'd be like 5 bombs. Yeah, he might need iframes. Arrows should not damage him, so let's see. Okay. Yep, so arrows don't damage him. So I think it's fair to say that the razors shouldn't. Like, those should just go under him. I think that's fine. Shouldn't damage him. And that's kind of neat because we don't have an enemy that, like, the razors can go through, so that kind of creates something new and interesting. Towers. Yeah, the towers damage him. Cardinal sentries. Yep, you can see it's hitting his hands there. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. I don't think it feels wrong to have the razors go under him. Is he placeable on pits? I don't remember. I'm gonna say no. No, he isn't. Okay. Maybe he should be. It's kind of like the ghost enemy, he can float over him, so might make sense. Alright, let me look at the testing list here. Skull would have to be levitating. Maybe the razors could damage the skull. I think that would be okay. Just have it not damage his arms. Does he die falling in a pit? No. He can warp over pits. He can pretty much warp over everything. And no, conveyors don't move him. All right. Fortunately, Thomas made a new list here, so I can just go down this. That's helpful. Okay, so a few things. The first, we changed the damage the claws do. They do half a heart if you bump into them and 1 when attacking. They were higher before, which was rough. So if I bump into them, I'm taking half a heart. If I get attacked, I take 1 heart. Okay, that looks good. And then the swords, looks like it's 1 heart when not attacking, and then 2 when attacking. I think we talked about maybe for the attacking for the swords, we were going to do 1.5. Let's see how that feels then. I love that explosion effect. It's so nice. I like how it like travels up his arm. And yeah, you can like just land enough hits to get him into the next phase. So you can design around that if you want to prevent the player from landing too many hits. Okay, so sword should be 1 when not attacking. does 1. Okay, yeah, it is doing 2 when he does attack. I think the fight's tough enough. We could probably lower that down to 1.5 on the sword slash. Yeah. 1.5 would be good. Yeah, it's a lot of damage. And yeah, the fun thing I love about this fight is like, it's all about reading his attacks. So like if you're playing smart and you're watching what he's going to do, you won't take any damage. He's going to throw because he didn't lean, so I can get out of the way. And again, it's going to depend on the design of the room. But he, when he throws his sword, he aims at you at the start of his throw, so you have time to get out of the way. And then we added collision to this guy. Seems pretty good. To the head. That felt pretty good. Okay, you've got break blocks and tables, and placeable over pits. Triggering switches. You should trigger orb switches and up and down switches. Does he break cracked walls? Sword damage assigned. Was that for grass? What do you mean? Okay, looks like he doesn't break. I think he should probably break cracked walls. Well, the swords, maybe. The sword should. He can cut grass. Okay, yeah, with the sword, he can cut grass. Is that already a thing? That's kind of cool. That'd actually be a fun way to, like, have to fight him. Like, you could have a phase where you gotta, like, find a way to damage his claws, and then have a phase where you gotta get him to, like, cut the grass. Oh, it's not yet. Okay. Alright, thanks for saving me the time. Oops. Swords aren't explosions, though. Should he hit trees? That's a good question. Does it feel like he should hit a tree? Let's see if it feels like he should hit a tree. I think the trees are tall enough. Oh yeah, layering issue. That's right. Yeah, I think the trees are tall enough. It feels like he should be hitting those. Yeah, layering's honestly not that bad. Yeah, I think trees... Show off the fro? Sure. You can give him a little afro if you want. I think I gotta get him to teleport. Actually, let me put the tree. Oh wait, what am I doing? That's not what I wanted to do. I need him under it. I think right here might do it. A little high up, but yeah, you can see we're working on the layering. Kind of funny. Maybe if we put it like right here. Yeah, it's still a little high. There we go. He's got a nice hairdo. What does canopy do? Canopy do? I know Thomas was testing the canopy. Oops. Is there a replace key for controller? Canopy is a bit of a mess, but works a bit better. Okay. Yeah, we should probably add one. So yeah, in build mode, his head clips. And then, yeah, a little bit of clipping there on the animation, but otherwise not bad. Yeah, he clips a little bit into there. Should probably just go in front of it. One thing I'm curious of, since you can get them to teleport in between rooms, this is something I haven't really tested. What happens if... he shows up in the other room? Okay. I was curious about that, and then... will he trigger stuff in the other room? I need something he can hit. No, he won't teleport rooms. He'll stay in his room, but you'll be able to see him. I'm curious if I get him to teleport up here, and he's swinging. Did he just break those? That's awesome. Okay, so he broke them, and now he's hanging out. What's up, dude? Ow. So he's kind of here. I can destroy his arm. He's damning. Okay. Can I hit the head? No, I got the arms though. Alright, so that's something we'll have to figure out for sure. Making sure he can't damage other rooms because he broke these, and then make sure he's not dabbing. Nah, ship it, yeah. Oh, he's gone. He's like gone. Maybe he'll teleport? Good enough, yeah. Yeah, there he is, okay. So it didn't totally break the fight. He's here. Oh yeah, he was just ahead. Okay, gotcha, gotcha. What happens if I leave? Well, he's just ahead. Spend some time here. And then we'll come back. Okay, cool. So yeah, it looks like that timer retained, which is good. He just wants to give you a hug. Ah, gotcha. Okay. So we destroyed an arm. I think he'll have the arm. Yep. Okay. Gotcha. Thomas, I assume you're making note of some of this stuff. An out-of-room experience. Oh, I just noticed the shadow was fixed. That's cool. Oh, that's interesting. His arms... Do his arms only have 4 HP, or is the explosion maybe hitting him twice? Because he, It seems like 2 bombs is destroying his arms. Which should only be 4 damage, right? It's hitting him twice? Okay. Yeah, maybe... I think the arms maybe need some iframes. Or something. Okay, I did 4 hits. Okay, the head seems okay. Same issue as Razor's? Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, bombs are very good against him. I liked Optimus's suggestion to have the arms knock the bombs away. Should be a system to handle that, but it's not working currently. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, neat idea, for sure. Alright, next thing to test. We had an issue where the camera bounds weren't zooming out for the boss if you triggered him via link. Let's test that out. Flinging sword, trigger slash blow up the blue bombs. Oh yeah, that's a good point. If he can interact with the bombs, then yeah, he should be triggering blue bombs for sure. If he can hit bombs, yeah. That's a good point. Okay, looks like camera's good. Yeah, let's see. Gotta go? Okay. I'll see ya. I'll try to take notes. And I'll send you whatever comes up. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you can just watch the VOD. That works. Cool. Enjoy your movie. Thanks for hanging out. Put a bunch around. So. Actually curious for that. Okay. Okay. The arms don't trigger them. I don't know if the sword will. See, I don't think that sword's quite reaching over here. See if we can bait him a little. Maybe he'll throw it. Did like a debug mode? Yeah, debug would be cool. We've done a little bit of that before, where like we would, when we were testing for performance, we had like the FPS shown on screen. So that could be cool. Okay, yeah, the sword definitely doesn't trigger those. But yeah, I agree that the sword should trigger those bombs, especially if we're going to have it push bombs around. Let's see. Oh yeah, the between phases wasn't doing like a fade in for the arms. Let's see if that's... I think that was fixed. We've seen that a few times now. Let me just check real quick. What I really need is like a dev cheats menu where I can just, you know, have a sword that does 1,000,000 damage. Bombs are really good right now. Yeah, so there's a little pause and then a fade in for the arms, and that was kind of missing before, so that's cool. Okay, yep, we saw the fade in. And then another thing, it's a little tough to hit his arm up here, which I shouldn't have killed that other arm. You can only really do it if he's swinging the other arm, because otherwise he'll teleport. So I'm going to destroy this arm, and then we'll let him spawn the arms back in. And I want to test that, so we're not going to damage his head here. Wait till he swings his right arm. That's a throw. Ouch. That's a throw. Hello, swing your right arm, please. That's your left arm. That's a throw. figures. I got the right arm swipe there. So this part of his arm up here is what I'm talking about. You couldn't hit it before, so I want to make sure you can now. Because one of the best times to hit him is when he's swinging with the other arm. So I want him to swing this arm, but he's not cooperating. That's a throw. That's a throw. Double slash. Man, he is just not cooperating. Slice with your right arm, please, sir. That's a throw. Maybe is it because I'm on the side of him? I didn't think we had it set that way. Huh. Yeah, maybe he is set that way. He'll only swipe towards the side you're on. I remember we had that originally as part of the criteria, and I thought we ended up deciding just not to do it. But it looks like we did. So I bet you if I start going on this side, he'll start swiping the other way. No, he just doesn't. Maybe he's left-handed, you know? Alright, I'm gonna have him teleport over here. There we go. I got a hit off on there. Looks like that's fixed. Alright. Let's see, what else here? Oh yeah, when you defeat him, his head would like rise up and it could hit you. Which we don't want, because you've defeated him. Whoa, I didn't realize my face was like blurred out by the grass. I had Discord up over OBS. No one told me this grass was doing that. Hold on. Alright. Green screen issues. Okay, so I want to see if the head damages the player after you defeat him. It hasn't been too bad? Okay. Maybe it was just that instance. And yeah, he'll interrupt his animations to like have the arm disappear. We did that on purpose. Yeah, we definitely got to fix the bombs doing so much damage. Seems like the damage is overlapping. Because that's making bombs like way too good against him. Alright, let's see. Okay, yep, so it doesn't damage you anymore, so that's good. That's fixed. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, and I think we've kind of tested this already, but if he teleported to you and attacked you, you weren't taking damage before. You were like in a safe spot, so let's just make sure. If I just stand here, I should be damaged by his attack. I want him to do the double attack though. That's a single. Single. Come on. Double swipe me. He knows I'm doing testing, that's why he's being difficult. Maybe he doesn't in this phase. Maybe it's just in the sword phase. Yeah, must be. There we go. Okay. Nope, I was just unlucky. Okay, so yep, I took damage as expected. Okay. What else? We have... Drop Shadow, the explosions look great. Love it. Okay. That was all the new stuff we had to test with him. He's looking really good. I'm excited for this. Need to make a really cool dungeon for him for PAX. I want to have... It'll probably be like a modified version of Buried Delves. Like, we use that one at PAX because it's really good. And I want players to be able to decide, like, do you want to play this dungeon or do you want to play this one with the new boss? And then that way, people that are returning, that have already played the game, can check out the new boss, and then people that are coming there for the first time might want to play and check out Goliath. Very cool. Really excited for the new boss themes. I've heard the preview of the one we're going to do for Goliath. It's really good. So I'm sure the one for this boss is going to be really good too. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything we needed to test. I didn't show off the linking yet, so let me show that off. Just to show you what we're working with here. So it's a little different from Goliath. We don't have the exact same links that Goliath has because this boss functions a little differently. So just put down some things you can link to. And obviously the icons aren't in here yet. We're still working on those. But he will have a icon for when he's defeated. Obviously, he has to have that. So that's the same as Goliath. Regenerates with claws, but this is actually when his claws appear. So this counts as also the start of the fight because his claws appear when he first appears. But let's say you fails to deliver enough damage to his head to trigger the next phase. When he respawns with his claws, he's going to trigger whatever you have linked here. So if you only want something to trigger when he first spawns, you would just set it to only trigger once. And then that's only going to trigger at the start of the battle. Otherwise, every time he respawns with the claws, that link's going to trigger. The next one is his next phase, which is when he appears with one sword in his hand. And again, this will be every time he appears with that sword in the hand. So if you only want it to trigger once, make sure you use that only trigger once checkbox. Let's see, what else? And then, of course, for the final phase, the same kind of link. When he regenerates with both swords in his hands, you can trigger something. When he teleports to a player, you can have something trigger. So I could see some cool setups with this where, you know, you're trying to make things happen in the room and you need him to teleport. You have a little bit of control about when he teleports by like going behind him. So I can see people coming up with some cool stuff around that. When you destroy both arms, so this is anytime both of his arms are destroyed and he's, you know, the head falling onto the ground, you can trigger a link. So maybe you want to make it more difficult for the player to land damage. Maybe you want to spawn in enemies on a spawner or something so that the player's got to deal with something while they're trying to damage the head. You can do that. And then when the boss attacks, we have a link from that. I've already done a lot of testing on those. They're all working great. So I won't go into that. But the attacks one is any attack. So single slash, double slash, throwing his arm, whatever it is, the attack one will trigger. So yeah, that's the new boss. I think he's looking really good. We've got some more testing to do just in terms of like how he interacts with different objects. So I think I'll jump into a little bit of that. Because I know Thomas is about to be fixing some of that stuff, so I want to give him a comprehensive list here. So we already talked about him triggering switches. I don't imagine anything else is really going to matter with him. What's kind of cool, you can't really box him in anymore like you can with Goliath, because he can just teleport out. He's a phantom. Which is kind of nice, right? It gives you options. If you want an enemy that you can box in, you can use Goliath. Otherwise, you've got this one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think anything here would be too crazy that he would need to interact with. The switches he'll trigger. He doesn't trigger floor switches. At least he shouldn't. Should probably make sure. Just put a bunch down. I want to try and like make his head fall on these. This is my secret way of testing links. We'll have that be any. I am curious. I don't think his head will trigger these, and I don't necessarily think it should. I know the head is technically on the ground, but I think that makes things a little tricky for puzzle design, but maybe it should. Alright, let's see. Doesn't quite reach, dang it. I need to move him over. We'll have him start here, and then I'll teleport him over. Okay. That should have him lined up good. Oops. Okay, I triggered one. Okay, let's see. It doesn't. I don't know. I guess it does kind of feel like it should, right? I think maybe his head should trigger switches, floor switches. I don't know. That gets into a slippery slope because then it's like, what if his head goes over a pit? Should it fall in a pit? And I don't think it should. I think that's kind of a way of cheesing the battle. Yeah, so it's like the head's over the pit, but it's like, okay, maybe the skull's just floating a little bit. I mean, you see the shadow. I think that's something we just let slide, you know? I mean, I guess we could, like, go through the difficulty of, like, making it float a little bit or something, but... I think there's some little things like that you just gotta accept. It's a game. Let's see, what else? Okay. Shouldn't interact with the shop at all. Just see how the layering is here. Oh man, that's actually kind of cool. It looks like Scout is like summoning an enemy. Like it almost looks like it's attached to him. Like coming out of his bag. You thought you could just buy my items. That's funny. I haven't really tried dashing with him. I don't believe it does much. Oops, left those boss keys there. Should be able to avoid damage, but it's not going to like knock him. Yeah, so I can like, you know, dash through the arms and through him. And yeah, again, just to show, I guess I didn't really show this, arrows do not damage him. You can damage the head when it's on the ground with arrows. You just can't damage the arms. Yeah, the arrows go right through him. But yeah, when the head's down, you can hit that with arrows. So that is a thing. There's anything else here to test. Enemies should mostly ignore him. The Cardinal Sentry we already showed does damage him. Yeah, obviously arrows won't hurt him, so the Lizark won't hurt him. Yeah, enemies just kind of ignore him. And he doesn't damage enemies, and that's intentional. Oh wait, does he? Wow, I'm like forgetting now. Hold on. Pretty sure he doesn't. Yeah, he won't damage enemies. So. That's intentional because obviously in a boss fight you're going to be spawning in enemies and stuff, and we don't want the boss killing his own minions. So he will not be hurting his own enemies. He's swinging around them. Okay, as far as objects go, I don't think there's too much else to really mention here. You should be able to go over spikes. That's not a thing. Yeah, we talked about the razors. I think we decided we don't want those to hurt him. Maybe the flying ones should. And just the ground ones don't. Could be interesting. But yeah, I think it's fine. They should damage the head when it's on the ground, but they shouldn't damage the arms. The treadmills shouldn't affect him. Or conveyors, I should say. Which is, yeah, actually kind of interesting, because you can, like, deliver bombs to him. I didn't even think of that. That's kind of cool. I do want to see if the head is affected. Ooh, you know what? Maybe the head should be affected by the conveyor. That could be interesting. Not necessary, but maybe something we'll think about. I like that, like delivering bombs to him. That's cool. Neat. Some neat designs I think are going to pop out of this. Alright, so conveyors, warps, he'll go over. Signs don't matter. Checkpoints don't matter. Stairs don't matter. Poison pits we already talked about. Grates shouldn't be able to go under him. Yep. It's going to be able to damage tables. First theme, he'll be able to cut grass. He'll be able to knock stuff out of trees. He can already attack bushes and pots. None of this other stuff should really affect him. Let's see. Nothing here. I just like to go through the list and just make sure I'm not forgetting something. Should be breaking these. Can double check that. The rubble. I think the sword should break the rubble, but not the claws. I think that makes sense since we're letting him break the blocks. So we can have the rubble be damaged by his swords. Yeah, I think that's it. See how the layering is with the wells, maybe? Yeah, so those claws spawned right on it, so they broke it. Cool. Actually kind of interesting to use the wells as a way to like get away from him. Yeah, layering looks pretty good for the wells. It's like hit, go in the well. I think when we push this update, we'll do a creator challenge and like it'll be like design an interesting boss fight. Like you can make a dungeon if you want, but like it's just all going to be about the boss fight. Get to see some interesting ways that people can use the new boss. Alright, cool. I think I already tested archways. Yeah, it's fine. Like, you're never gonna get perfect clipping for like these weird objects. So like, it's a game. A lot of games have clipping stuff going on, you know. We'll do the best we can. 2.5D is hard, yo, as Thomas would say. I think we're good. I can't really think of any other testing at the moment. I've already tested linking separately offline. You should be able to like push blocks onto them and stuff, so let's just make sure like pushing works. I don't think it pushed the head at all. Yeah, you can like push blocks through them, which is actually kind of interesting for puzzles. Okay, when the head's there, it's blocked. And that makes sense, because it's solid on the ground. You can't push it. Alright, cool. Yeah, I don't think there's too much else to test. I think we're looking pretty good here. Just make sure multiplayer isn't broken. Multiplayer is a little tough to test by yourself. So Thomas mentioned his eyes will follow the player he's going to teleport to. Kind of neat. Okay, he's looking left. Nice, that's cool. Yeah, multiplayer is going to be really interesting because you're going to have multiple players trying to defeat this boss, but if anyone steps behind him, he's going to teleport. So like the players are going to need to communicate and like not, you know, move him out of the way of like another player trying to do something. So kind of neat. I do hope he's not too easy in multiplayer. If you got a million players wailing on him, so. But I think that is where the iframes will be helpful. Sounds like he already has them. He's just got some issues with the arms right now. Thomas mentioned. Let's just make sure like the split screen stuff is working okay. Player 1 triggers him, and then player 4 decides to go out. Looks good. We had a bug where the camera pan wasn't working for bosses if you left another room. I think in the most recent update we actually fixed that. And the player rejoins. Got our camera. All right, cool. I can't really think of anything else to test at this point. We'll wait for some of these fixes to go in, some of the extra stuff, and hopefully we'll have more to show soon on the boss. So appreciate everybody swinging by to check this out. Really excited for how he's coming along. Oh yeah, and the frog glove does not stun him or anything. I think that's one thing I can show real quick. Yeah, just kind of like stops. You know what though? Maybe the frog glove should latch onto his head when he's down. Thomas, let me know what you think about that if you're watching the VOD. Maybe when his head's down, you can latch onto it with the frog glove. I think that'd be kind of fun. If you know, have a boss fight where you're like damaging him a different way, and then you gotta like get to him to like hit the head. Kind of like the Ganondorf fight in Ocarina of Time where you've got to like hook shot to him to deal damage. Yeah. I think that's it for today. Let's take a look at online dungeons, see if there's some new dungeons to check out. Some of these are from my nieces and nephews. I'm going to skip those today. We will play those, but I'm going to come back to those. Any of the ones that you see mod.io user, that's my nieces and nephews having fun making dungeons. They're big fans of the game for sure. Okay, looks like nothing new at the moment, so I think we'll probably wrap up there. We are getting close to 400 dungeons. 39 pages, so 38 would be 380. Right? Because page 1 would be 10. Yeah. So 380. 383? Or is it 393? Hang on. We'll look at mod.io. Yeah, 383. Okay. So, yeah, we're only 17 dungeons away from 400. That is awesome. Maybe we can get there before PAX. That would be really cool. All right, folks. I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Really appreciate everybody hanging out. We had a really good turnout. Sanjay, thanks for swinging by. Thomas, always appreciate all the work you put into the boss. Matt, the boss is looking beautiful. Love the artwork. ADD Monkey, thanks for hanging out. Weasborg, Optimus. Appreciate everybody lurking. And yeah, excited to get the boss out into everyone's hands. See what people come up with. So thanks for hanging out all. If you're new here, if you're watching on YouTube, we usually stream on Sundays around 5:30 Pacific time. You can buy Super Dungeon Designer right now. It's in early access on Steam. It's $14.99, so go check it out. And you can join our Discord community. There's a link down below to do that. And yeah, thanks for your support. Appreciate everybody joining us on this journey. We're getting hyped up for PAX West in just a couple weeks here, where we'll showcase the game to thousands of people. So very, very exciting times to be playing some Super Dungeon Designer. So thanks all. Really appreciate everybody. Appreciate the community so much. All your feedback has really made this game what it's become. So thank you, all of you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play us out with the trailer. So thanks all. We'll see you next week for the last stream before PAX. We'll show off some more updates to the boss. We'll see where he's at that point. And maybe even some other new stuff. So, alrighty. Thanks all. Have a great rest of your week. and we'll see you next time. All right, take care all.